Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. This week I have an email from a woman who says, I was about to break no contact, but I felt like I needed a reason not to, a sign for me to stop myself. I happened to find your Should I Break No Contact video on the same day I planned to text my ex. It must have been a sign. Yes, it was. Thank God you found it. I was in a short-term, intense relationship. We were together for 5 months. It's hard to believe we were planning our future together. I'm 24, he's 25. I met him through a friend, we clicked, and it was a gut feeling that without a doubt I've met the love of my life, my soulmate. Well, that was your first mistake, because you immediately put him up on a pedestal thinking he was the one. I felt deeply for him instantly. I couldn't help it. We had so much in common. But I wasn't in a rush to get into a relationship. Well, let me read on. You'll see exactly how much she wasn't in a rush. I've spent most of my time doing things by myself. I felt like I didn't need to be in a relationship so quickly, so I told him we should take it slow, and he understood my feelings. Well, that was great. He continued to chase me, put effort to prove his love for me. He courted me, showered me with sweet texts every day to proclaim how grateful he was to have found me, telling me how much he treasures me, and how he spent his last 25 years without me. Stop it. Last 25 years. What, he was supposed to have met you when he was first born, and now he had to live 25 years without you? He finally found his other half. There is no such thing as another half. Everyone is a whole, so please stop looking for the half. It doesn't exist. He would drive all the way to my workplace to drive me home. It's an hour drive. I was overwhelmed with joy, of course. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's get to the punchline here, because you know this is not going to end well. We texted and video called every day. I made the mistake of rushing in too soon because I couldn't help myself. But I thought you said you didn't want to rush to get into a relationship. Yes, you could help yourself, but you chose not to. Although I can't be too hard on you because you're only 24 and the brain is not fully developed until 25. You're still young. But for anyone else listening who says they couldn't help themselves, yes, you could. I was head over heels for him. After a few weeks, I started sleeping with him. And there's yet another mistake. You're very young. There's oxytocin, which bonds you to the person that you're sleeping with. And so then you go into a sex coma where you think this is the greatest guy on earth. And he may be or he may not be. Everything was perfect. I was happy. I was on cloud 9. Soon after I started seeing more of him, I became insecure. I was worried and anxious that he would leave me like my past lovers did. I felt the need to tell him my feelings. And a few times when I did, he would give me the assurance I needed to hear, and I would feel better. Here's the thing. No one can give you security about a relationship. Even if they sign a piece of paper, as in, i.e. getting married, no one can give you the reassurance that they will always love you, that they will never leave you. That's why taking those vows is a lie. It's like, I will love you forever. No, you won't. You don't even know what you're going to be feeling a month from now. How do you know you're going to love me forever? It's a nice sentiment. Oh, I'll love you forever. Oh, we'll be together forever. Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. The only place you can ever get security from is from yourself, from knowing that no matter what happens, you will be able to deal with it. Whether you are together with this person or not, you'll be fine. That's where your security comes from. And when you start looking for it from the other person, you'll see what happens, because this led to the demise of the relationship. Continuing on, the breaking point was when I stupidly expressed my insecurities to him about all our differences, how we're both so different and we're still figuring out our life plans. I'm worried he won't stay when times get tough. He'll find someone more compatible. Nothing like talking him out of it. Nothing like giving him all the reasons why he should not be with you. It's like going in for a job interview and they're really interested in you, and then you'll be like, yeah, but you know, I've got this, and you give them all the reasons why you're not good for the job. Don't you think they're going to start thinking, oh, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe she's not the right person for the job. Moving on. He started getting distant the next day. I didn't quite understand why, because to me it felt like we were fine afterwards. Because he was sick of hearing you be insecure, and he's sick of having you talk him out of the relationship, and he'd had enough. It wasn't like it was a one-time thing. It was a build-up, constantly. Imagine if you're going out with someone and you are into them and everything's great, and they're constantly bringing up, but are you sure you're always going to be here? But are you sure we're not too incompatible? Are you sure you're not going to leave me for someone else? At a certain point, you'll be like, oh my God, get me out of here. He told me he'd been thinking of what I said, and he felt overwhelmed and upset because no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't give me a full sense of security. Exactly. He felt that he wasn't good enough. Right, so now he's feeling bad about himself. He said he needed some time to think, and he agreed we might have rushed into the relationship. There you go. He said he didn't feel the euphoria he felt from the beginning of the relationship. Yes, because unfortunately it was killed with your insecurities and your neediness. I felt like these are all excuses. No, they're not excuses, they're the truth. So anyways, then she goes on to say that a week later he called her and he went to her place to return her things. She cried and begged. She tried to talk him out of it. Of course, you know it doesn't work. You cannot reason with someone who doesn't want to be with you because they're making an emotional decision. And therefore, it doesn't matter how logical your explanation is, you're not affecting them emotionally. They need an emotional reason why they would stay. That's why talking is not going to make them stay. It has been 8 weeks and I still haven't heard from him. Well, at least you haven't called him. Good for you. I'm tempted to contact him, but I know it will lead to nothing. Exactly. I really didn't expect for him to leave as soon as the first problem came up. It wasn't the first problem. It was an ongoing thing that you kept talking about your insecurities and your neediness, and that pushed him away. That's a huge problem. It's not like one little problem like someone made a mistake. No, it was just over and over, constantly hearing about your neediness, and he was sick of it. He was done. I need a firm hand or a firm wake-up call because I still wake up every morning with him being the first thing in my head. Well, hopefully the answers to this email will be a wake-up call. How do I stop myself from feeling like this every day? Well, I think it's because you didn't have answers. You didn't know what was going on. And so when you don't know what's going on, your mind is looking for answers when you're in a fearful state. And that's why you keep obsessing with him, because you keep looking for answers and looking for solutions. But hopefully now that you have the answers, you will be less obsessive about it now that you know what happened. And hopefully you can move on. And the way to do that is to become obsessed with something else. Instead of being obsessed with him, be obsessed with you. Be obsessed with being a better version of you. You're 24. You still have a lot of growing up to do and development. So why don't you work on yourself? And it's good that you made this mistake now because you don't want to be needy and insecure at 34 or 44 or 54 or 24. You can put the kibosh on it now. As you can see, talking about your neediness will not give you the security that you're looking for. So you need to just stop it in your next relationship and just carry on and be confident. And if they leave, they leave. What are you going to do? Call me. All right. So if you have any questions or comments or you're interested in private coaching, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.